Aokigahara Forest, also known as the Sea of Trees, is one of the most mysterious and creepy places in Japan, located at the foot of Mount Fuji. This forest has long been a place known for its dark history and haunting horror stories. Despite its stunning natural beauty, Aokigahara has a reputation as a notorious suicide spot, attracting the attention of many who seek the end of their lives in this place. Aokigahara Forest has a long history intertwined with Japanese myths and folklore. In ancient times, this place was used for yubasut, a practice in which parents or relatives who were seriously ill or could no longer afford to be cared for by their families were taken to the forest to die. This practice, although very rare, creates a mystical aura inherent in this forest to this day. In addition, Aokigahara is known for having iron-rich soil, which causes compasses and other navigation equipment to often malfunction. This adds an element of mystery, making it easy for people to get lost and disoriented within this dense forest. One of the most famous horror stories from Aokigahara is about the ghost of Eerie. Eerie are the spirits of people who die with a deep sense of anger or sadness. They are depicted as figures with pale faces, long loose black hair, and shabby white clothes. These ghosts are believed to still roam the forest, looking for an outlet for their suffering. One cold and windy night, a man named Taro decides to end his life in Aokigahara. Taro is a man who has experienced many difficulties in his life. His family had died in a car accident a few years earlier, and he never recovered from the trauma. Losing his job and falling into debt only added to his mental anguish. On that dark night, Taro takes himself to this famous forest, hoping to find eternal peace. As Taro stepped deeper and deeper into the forest, he felt the atmosphere becoming increasingly tense. The sound of the wind rustling among the trees sounded like faint whispers. He sensed something was wrong, but he kept walking, hoping to find a quiet place to finish his intention. After a few hours of walking, Taro paused for a moment to rest. Around him, the forest feels so quiet, only punctuated by the sound of leaves rubbing. Suddenly, Taro heard the sound of footsteps behind him. When he looked up, he saw nothing. However, the feeling that he is not alone is getting stronger. The steps were getting closer, and strange whispers began to be clearly heard in his ears. With fears mounting, Taro tries to find a way out of the forest. However, every time he turned his head, he felt that a figure was following him. The figure looked like a shadow of a woman with a pale face and fiery red eyes. The woman was wearing a shabby white kimono, and her long, loose black hair covered part of her face. The woman's face was filled with an expression of deep suffering. Taro tried to run away, but the figure kept getting closer. His every step felt heavier and heavier, as if there were invisible hands pulling him back into the darkness. The sound of footsteps and whispers grew closer, making Taro feel trapped in an endless nightmare. In his fear, Taro stumbles and falls to the ground. When he got up, the figure of the woman was already standing in front of him. The woman looked at him with eyes full of sadness and anger. Taro felt his whole body freeze. He can't move or talk. The woman reached out her hand, and instantly, Taro felt a chill that pierced to the bone. The woman began to speak in a soft but full of pain voice. He told how he was brought to this forest by his family to die of an incurable disease. His pain and anger made his spirit unable to calm down, and he was trapped in this forest, looking for an outlet for his suffering. Taro feels that his life is being taken over by this woman. He felt such deep pain and anger, as if he were part of a tormented spirit. In a gripping fear, Taro felt his life slowly leaving him. His last desperate cry echoed throughout the forest, accompanied by the sound of the wind getting stronger. The next day, forest patrolmen find Taro's body lying among the trees. His face showed a deep expression of fear, and around him, strange traces were visible on the ground. Those who find him are unable to explain what really happened, but the story of his encounter with Eerie spreads quickly, adding to Aokigahara's long list of horror stories. In addition to the story about Eerie, Aokigahara is also known for various other strange phenomena. Some visitors reported hearing strange noises such as crying or screaming coming from nowhere. Some people even reported seeing strange shadows moving between the trees. Forest patrolmen often find personal items left behind by those who intend to end their lives, such as shoes, clothes, or even the last letter. These items bear silent witness to the despair and suffering experienced by those who chose Aokigahara as their final place. The Aokigahara Forest holds many stories and unsolved mysteries. Every year, visitors come either to uncover hidden secrets or to challenge themselves to face gripping fears. However, behind its natural beauty, there is a shadow waiting to welcome brave adventurers. Horror stories and strange phenomena that occur in Aokigahara are not just stories to scare. They are a reflection of the suffering and sense of hopelessness experienced by many people. This forest reminds us of the importance of attention and support for those who are going through difficult times in their lives. For those who come to Aokigahara with the intention of ending their lives, this forest may seem like a quiet and peaceful place. Behind the calm, however, lies a haunting darkness, ready to draw the weak into its arms. Aokigahara Forest remains one of the most mysterious and creepy places in the world, harboring horror stories that will continue to live on in the shadows of the dense trees. Aokigahara has a long history and is associated with local myths and legends. One of the attractions of this forest is its quiet and dark atmosphere, caused by the dense trees that make it difficult for sunlight to penetrate. The volcanic soil in this forest also has a high iron content, which can interfere with compasses, adding to its eerie and mysterious impression. The Japanese government has put up signs encouraging visitors to seek help and not to engage in dangerous activities within this forest. However, despite the warning signs in place, Aokigahara still harbors its dark secrets. It is rumored that when night falls, strange voices are often heard among the trees, as if lost spirits roam there. Some brave souls who venture into the forest at night report seeing faint shadows following them and feeling an unnatural chill in the air. Myths suggest that desperate souls still wander, seeking peace that never comes. With every step you take in this forest, the question remains, are you brave enough to confront the mysteries that await in the darkness of Aokigahara?